What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Welcome back to another update here to my Prussian game. And where we last left off, it was the year 1598. So I'm in the timeline here showing things off from this point. If we get it started, I was about to integrate Bohemia, if you guys remember. But we're doing the same old thing. I'm fighting coalitions, annexing at a just tremendous rate, if I do say so myself, the German region, because I am already, for the last 100 years, I've just been going full bore on aggressive expansion. So you can see here victories over Austria. Nuremberg is the last province that I require to actually form Germany, and there we go, I've obtained it, but of course I need that admin tech 20 as well. Expanding into Italy here, you can see, and yeah, just continuously expanding. We took Paris, as well as some more of the French region, which is giving me influence in the English Channel. Of course, expanding into the Ottomans here, using that Deus Vult that I acquired from Kosovo. We took the Reconquest CB, refed Hungary. I took one province, Kosovo, to maintain that a good CB against the Ottomans for the future, expanding into sort of the sub-Russian, sort of Belarusian region, some of Italy here. You can see the collapse of France is kind of happening, where Provence is expanding into France. Another big victory over the Ottoman Empire. Of course, Hungary is our personal union, guys, keep that in mind. And expanding into the French region via attacking some of the Italians, Savoy rather, who is expanding into France. Another big chunk of Russia out here, and the Ottomans are expanding into Russia. By the way, look at this Tabristan, guys. That Tabristan, though, expanding into Venice, fully annexing Austria. Actually, no more empire remains, no more Holy Roman Empire, that is. Another small expansion into France, and another, excuse me, expansion into the northern Italians, as well as, yeah, I don't think I went into the Ottomans again, but holy balls, guys. Pretty good. Pretty good. Look at that. Prussia. Pretty good. And of course, the age of absolutism has begun. So that's part of the reason that my expansion is kind of picked up in many ways. And I am now attacking the Ottomans once again. The Ottomans have been going into Russia when I go into Russia. And I'm actually getting concerned about the invalid rivals kind of scenario. I think pretty soon here we're going to start getting some invalid rivals. So I think Russia is large enough. He's doing such a good job expanding to where he will maintain a rival for quite some time. But what I'm trying to say is, if I'm going to take land from the Ottomans, it's going to be something like this, because I want to prevent him from expanding into Russia when I do it, and Russia just getting absolutely wrecked, and he can be a valid rival a little bit longer. But yeah, as you can see, absolutely fabulous. This mighty Hungary is being integrated at 90.4%, soon to be integrated. He is, of course, Protestant, and so is France, by the way. France actually fell to rebels. I took some of his Catholic region, and some of his land was sort of converted to Protestant as it is, and other nations were attacking him, and he actually fell to the rebels, and there we go, he's Protestant now, which honestly, there are some good aspects, but some bad aspects, like I have to claim his high developed lands if I want to take them, because, that's just what we have to do, and I don't have the Deus Vult CB. Funnily enough, guys, I had a little bit of a fail, because at one stage, there was two Catholic members of the empire, one being Austria and one being the Palatinate. And I was thinking, man, if I just owned the Palatinate, then all I need to do is own Vienna to actually disband the empire. But I learned the hard way that if you actually eliminate all but one, i.e. the emperor being Catholic, members of the empire, then the empire becomes hereditary, and you cannot disband the empire when it is hereditary. So basically the empire was Austria at that point, and you cannot disband it. I wanted to obviously disband it to become an empire government rank, but I had to wait a few more years to actually annex every member of the empire, including Austria, of course, and the empire has been disbanded. I am the empire. And speaking of which, we have accepted all of our culture, which we also obtained the entire cultural group. In sooner than 200 years, I obtained the entire German cultural group. Feeling pretty good, man, with that acceptance all over. We've also spread Swabian into these two provinces, both of which ranging from fairly high to very high development. Rhinish, we expanded into the Rhinish region a little bit here, or Alsace rather, the Alsatian region. Metz, Luxembourg, Bar. I shouldn't use technical terms like that because people were like, "What are you talking about?" I always forget that you guys are so much smarter than me. The United Internet is so intelligentsia, so don't underestimate it. Don't use terminologies, monk. Flemish expanded massively, as you can see. I think that Loon is Flemish and Liege is, or Liège, don't know how to say that, is not. The Wallonian culture group completely and utterly converted to Flemish, which of course we fully accept. Now, as you can see, I also accept the Francine cultural group. If we look at our accepted cultures, we have Polish, Czech, Francine, and English. And yeah, I mean, just look at it. The Czech we have expanded into Silesia as well as the Polish into Silesia. And of course, our primary culture has expanded a little bit as well. So we obviously accept all of this, Francine, and English. Just a huge amount of acceptance throughout Europe, which makes me feel good, man. And yeah, I like to show you guys the map modes. Protestantism taking over all of Europe. That makes me feel good, man. There's not much Catholicism left. Not that Catholics are that bad. It's just that that's looking really nice and cool. My economy is absolutely fabulous. I got some negative events back to back where, I wanted to maintain my estates. Like, look at our, stuff here. And they scale up with the economy, the price that you pay for these events. So I do have 4 corruption. It's a 3.5 because I'm maxing it out. So that's why I'm losing 11 per month. Not that big of a deal. As you can see, we got 1,238. Maybe like a few years that corruption will be gone. But to give you guys an idea, I also have 51% overextension expanding into Italy. So that is more kind of indicative of how our economy usually looks. Very wealthy, and of course I've been trying to invest that wealth back into continuously industrializing our lands. Really loving the idea cost and the production or development cost. I've been switching them out back and forth from the church power, but of course I try to keep the manpower up. Doing really well on manpower, guys, considering how warmonger I've been going. And, the discipline is nice. Ideal for... I won't cancel that. There's a morale one and a discipline one that I like, and the manpower one, which is kind of ideal for combat, but then I switch them out. Ideas influence religious quality, offensive, and working on diplomatic ideas. Almost completed that, which is giving us that sweet war score reduction cost. And just in time, of course, for the absolutism. It is the age of absolutism, and I am currently fighting, if you will, enduring the court and country disaster, which is it's really not that hard. I do find it sometimes, like I had 3 stability, guys, and it can be quite costly, because in order to have the spawn, you need over 1 unrest and to be at war. And my country was just too stable. So the method that I found to get up to 1 unrest, that was overextend, but also reduce my stability. And the way I was doing that was Portugal was my ally, and I kept breaking my royal marriage with him to reduce my stability. Right now I'm allied to Ethiopia. He's actually my only ally currently. I was hoping to maybe get a lucky PU off against him, because he's quite large and expanding so far out of Europe, sort of via diplomacy, somewhere that I can't yet attack, would be pretty cool. Yeah, so it came at a cost. I mean, it's really a shame to have 3 stability, but I managed to have this, obviously, spawn, and going to be really looking forward to getting that, absolutism up to cap with the 40 admin efficiency. We have 24 admin efficiency at the moment. This Tabersan, absolutely hilarious. I don't know how he managed to do so well. I actually have a reoccurring theme of him doing well in my own personal games. He did well in my Hungarian playthrough as well, and actually formed Persia, which had, because we had wrecked the Ottomans a bit, the Persia actually kind of rivaled the Ottomans at one stage before we basically killed them in my other game. Now, really interestingly here, guys, you can see I've broken my alliance with Denmark, and the reason I've done that is to not have a truce with him, and I'm trying to maintain my relations with him so that he doesn't coalition me. My aggressive expansion is getting near to 50, but, you know, just in general, we need that royal marriage with him to claim it. But the reason I broke my alliance, like I said, is so that I don't truce break, because as a Protestant nation, I don't have the luxury of boosting my stability via the papal influence, and yeah, truce breaking is pretty rough for sure. A lot of people were talking about my previous video, how the French had I can't say it, guys, a Whistlebach, Vesselbach, something like that, dynasty. Of course, it was too late, though, already, guys. France is just beyond hating me. Look at that aggressive expansion, 513. Even at that stage, you know, 50 years ago, I would have never got a royal marriage unless I, like, did nothing but placate him until the end of the game, basically. He hated me that much. And, of course, you need the royal marriage to claim throne. So it would be possible if I left him that maybe I could PU him at some point, but just wanted to annex him instead. I'm wondering what other things should I show you. Oh yes, manufactories spawned in my country, unsurprisingly. You can see how much is actually gaining growth. That's indicative of how many manufactories I actually have, although I don't think all of them spread, do they? To give you an idea here, guys, weapons manufactories, textile manufactories, you can see the blue, plantations, and no trading stations. But yeah, really looking forward to investing some of these. And I've also been building universities, I think, right? Yeah, I've been building universities for obvious reasons. They give you a slot, but also for the development cost. I'm not a big fan, like I didn't show you guys the development map mode, because it's not really fair in my opinion, like how it all looks bad. It looks low development. I've talked about development in the past, but it's a big shame, I find, how if you don't expand, there are so many independent nations that the overall development is going to be so much higher, and then you annex it later, and you're going to be so much more powerful. It's a bit of a shame, but just keep in mind, you know, a lot of these I did inherit which were fairly high, like Frankfurt and so on. Vienna, obviously, very high. Paris, very high. But so much of this, guys, has been my own development. So obviously around the lowlands we've got, you know, 28, 26. These are obviously begin fairly high. 19, 22, 19, 21, 29, 28, 21, 20, 22, 20, 35, 20, 20, 20, 31. Obviously you guys probably don't care, but the provinces that I focus on are the ones with cloth and so on and iron. So I'm just kind of trying to give you an idea. Like, it's pretty self-explanatory that Prague was the capital of Bohemia, and he developed it a bit as it is farmlands, and we integrated that. But so much of this that we have owned for so long, I have developed myself. So many of them, other ones like this with grain, you know, they developed themselves. You get the point. But that's part of the reason, like this one here in Limburg, iron there, absolutely beautiful. So that's going to be one of the locations that I build a manufactory. But obviously focusing on the regions that I've actually stated up for now, this is definitely going to be probably a priority. It's 15, 14, 19, 14. You can see how high they are here. It's actually the fourth one down, but it's fully accepted culture, etc. I do usually try to, if I'm chilling on my own playing a single player game, I do take the resources like iron into consideration. We've got 2 iron provinces, 3 iron provinces, and cloth, so that would have a tremendous amount of production. Really looking forward to building these, but I've got to pay off my corruption right now. And yeah, when I kill the Ottoman Empire, we're going to be taking that from this war. It's going to be nice and easy. It's just a Holy War CB. My truce is up with France, which unfortunately I've been claiming because he's Protestant. And if we look at Denmark, I don't think I fully explained this. His regent, he has a male regent, guys, or some kind of regent, excuse me. It's a woman, I think, but she's not my dynasty. And when I saw that weak claim, I got excited and I was like, wow, this is the dream. Because I actually got the PU over Bohemia and Hungary the same way, where they had a weak claim, which allowed me to break my alliance. And then the truce came up and then I PU'd them, which is kind of the dream. And I thought the same thing was happening here with Denmark. But it's actually his heir and this is his regent. I can't claim the throne because I don't have the same dynasty. However, I'm hoping that if I break my alliance like this, once this comes of age, I'll claim his throne then if he doesn't have an heir. But, still trying to PU Denmark and maintain my relations with him so that he doesn't break our alliance. That's pretty much it. I've been expanding so much that we have some available states, as you can see, which I acquired from becoming an empire. And I have stated many of them up, but other ones I'm just chilling a little bit as I do want to core up the provinces I take. Game's good, guys. Game's good. Loving it. The other thing is if I wait for Hungary to integrate, I don't think he has any ridiculously good, like Pest is high development, so this would probably be quite high. Unfortunately, it's mostly grasslands and stuff, but at least it's easily developable, like really cheap. And his other states are probably not so good, although iron here. Anyway, the point that I was trying to make is, I can state them up for free after spending all my points integrating them. Free in terms of admin at least. So I thought I might hold out and see if they got some nice ones. That includes, of course, ones with increased coring costs. Can just core them up. But that's pretty much it, guys. Really, really enjoying this game. Snowballing, smashing it, hoping to PU Denmark. And we've already begun the blobbing. Once the absolutism is up really high, I'm going to blob like crazy. And I hope you guys are looking forward to the final timeline when we just blitz through everything. It's going to be good. I'll see you in the next episode, which should be around the year 1700. I suspect that we would have expanded a little bit.